What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you guys can get over $100,000 worth of a credit limit amongst your credit cards. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Brian. I talk about credit cards, personal finance, and anything entrepreneurship related. If any of that interests you, you guys can subscribe if you feel like it. You don't have to. I don't want to force you to, but hey, if you do, welcome to the fam. Also, I stumbled upon a thread on Reddit. It's called r/pens, and they talk about pens, and this was apparently the most satisfying clicky pen, and it's so satisfying. In today's video, I'm just going to give you guys some key points on what you guys can do to get that 100,000 credit limit amongst your credit cards. Now, for me personally, I've had more than $100,000 credit limit for a while on my credit cards, but what I went ahead before recording this video is just go inside all my bank accounts and calculate exactly how much credit limits I actually have. Now, before we get started with this video, let's just cover exactly what I have. So I have the World of Hyatt card, which is sitting at $11,000. My Chase Freedom is at $1,000. My Freedom Unlimited is at $8,500. My Ink Cash is at $15,000. My Ink Unlimited is $12,000. My Ink Preferred is $22,000. And combining just my Chase cards right there, that's actually right under $70,000 worth of a credit limit for a month. So what this means is if I ever turn into a evil villain and I wanted to run off with the bank's money, that basically means I have $70,000 to spend within that month before running off and living in a third world country for the rest of my life. I'm probably not going to do that, but I'm not going to make any promises just because I don't know, man. I don't know. The pandemic stuff is the shutdown. I don't know, man. I do have other credit cards. Another credit card that I have is my Discover It card. This is actually my first credit card I ever got, and this credit card started out with a $500 credit limit. This actually turned into $7,500 of a credit limit. This card is actually pretty cool to me just because I have never manually requested a credit limit amongst my Discover cards, but I think over time, just putting spend through it, never missing a payment, that allowed them to automatically increase it. So something like my Discover card, that hits home for me because I feel like that's like a baby Pokemon that you start out with, and then over time you just you hit the third evolution on that without doing any work. So that's pretty cool to me. Other cards I have is the American Express Business Prime card that has a $10,000 credit limit. What else? I also have the Bonvoy card, $20,000 credit limit. I also have the Uber Visa Barclays card. I think that's sitting around $8,000, but I didn't really calculate that one because I'm never going to use that card again since they nerfed that card. For anyone who doesn't know, the Uber Visa Barclays card, one of the most best low-key underrated cards out on the market until they completely just nerfed it. And instead of getting cash back that you could have gotten regularly, they made the cash back just turn into Uber credits. I just don't think that was a cool move, but that's what happened with that card. I know I have way over $100,000 just by adding those things up right there. That itself is $100-some thousand, $110,000, $120,000 credit limit. But the main cards I normally use, my Gold card, my Business Platinum, and my regular Platinum card with American Express, those cards actually don't tell you the exact credit limit that it has. So I'm really guessing that some of those cards have absurd credit limits just because American Express is one of those companies that do offer very, very high credit limits. If I were to guess, I feel like my Gold card would have $50,000, and I feel like my Platinum or my Business Platinum have well over $50,000 to $75,000 worth of a credit limit. This is something I could test by checking the spending power, but this is not something I recommend anyone to do because when you put that amount onto the app and you're saying I want to test this, you're pretty much flagging the algorithm that you're about to make a giant purchase of $75,000, and this could actually lead you to getting a financial review or a shutdown on very, very extreme cases. So there's no reason for you guys to check that amount. Just know that charge cards now that they define it like that, They want to market themselves as credit cards now. They want to get rid of the charge card term. But whatever these cards are considered, you can't find the exact credit limit on them, but just know that they do offer very generous credit limits because you are expected to pay off these cards in full every single month. That rule applies universally to me for all of my credit cards, except if it has a no intro APR card and it's a business card and you're tactically, working the system like that. But generally, the principle I have is pay off your cards in full. full. It doesn't matter what credit limit you have. If you pay it off in full, everything always works out in the end. Now that we went over that, now that I got my social proof out there, how did I get there? What did I do? Well, here's some of the key points that you guys need to know if you're really trying to expand your credit limits amongst your credit cards. Now, I know a lot of people out here often want to just roll the dice and say,
all right, let me just get one card out here and get that credit limit increase on that one card, and boom, $100,000 credit limit, I'm good to go.
I never really thought of it that way. I really don't want one card to have all my credit limits. I always like spreading things out and really just diversifying my portfolio when it comes to my credit cards and my credit limits, just because you are always susceptible to fraud, to someone stealing your credit card, to your credit card account getting shut down. There's so many things. And if you have one card that has a very high limit and it gets compromised for whatever reason with hackers, with thieves, or within the bank themselves, you really don't want to be in a situation where you're left empty-handed. So for me, the easiest thing to do is really diversify your cards, apply for more cards, put regular spend on it, but pay it off in full and really show these banks that you have a healthy spending habit and you're not just accumulating debt, charging up interest, and really not showing them exactly what type of credit card user you are. I think that's really the biggest tip that you guys can take away from right there. I think people often assume you'll get a higher credit limit increase if you owe them more money. That's really far from the truth. If you can really show just healthy spending habits and just repaying balances, it does improve your credit score and also shows to these banks like, look, I'm a healthy lender, and they'll be more confident in giving you a higher credit limit. Now, another way for you guys to improve your credit limit is to actually get business credit cards compared to personal credit cards. If any of you guys noticed, all of my high credit limits were amongst my business credit cards. So with my personal cards, usually they don't go over $10,000 unless it's a higher tier card like the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. But when we're talking about business credit cards, on minimum, usually for me, it's about a $10,000 minimum credit limit that I get on some of these cards. Now, when we're talking about credit limits and what the banks actually give you, I know a lot of people are curious on the algorithm, and really what you guys need to know is they take into consideration how much money you make and really what your credit score is. Because if you're not making that much money and you have a credit limit 10x of what your annual salary is, it makes no sense. That's too much risk on the banks. And if you max out that card and you can never pay it off, they're the ones losing their money. And that's really the whole point of trusting someone with a higher credit limit. Make sure you guys check out my business credit card playlist if you are interested in applying for any type of business credit card, because right now is a pretty good time to apply for it. Watch my side hustle videos, how to get a business credit card video, my blog, my walkthrough, and you guys are on your way to actually getting a business credit card. When I first started out in the points and miles game, I was so intimidated by business credit cards. I didn't understand the benefits, but after a while, you just realize how beneficial they are and really what they can provide to you in a long-term sense of the points and miles that you can receive. So I will do a future video on this too, but I have well over $10,000 worth of points and cash just from my credit cards. A lot of that did come from my business credit cards. So when we're talking about manual credit limit increases, I have done these though in the past. The one card that I remember doing this on was my Uber Visa Barclays card. I don't know why I did it. I think I was just bored. I just wanted to try it. This is like my first couple months of getting into the credit card game, and they actually did approve me. I remember during that time when I submitted the credit limit increase on that card, I remember I was getting a phone call just a few hours after, and just the lady was just asking me a couple verification questions like, why do you want this? And I was like, I just want a higher credit limit increase. And she was like, okay, and she did that, and I got a higher credit limit increase. That was really the easiest way to do it. But when we're talking about manual credit limit increases, some of the issuers that you guys should really take note of is American Express. So American Express has a very cool thing. It's called the 3x CLI with American Express. I've made other videos on this on my channel talking about this, but basically after you open your credit card, wait 61 days. And after you wait 61 days, go online, request a credit limit increase, and do it 3x. American Express gives some of the highest and most generous credit limits. And I know during difficult times that come up, if we have a recession due, if we have anything going on with the economy and people are in a situation where they need a higher credit limit, maybe to limit their overall utilization, to try and bring their credit score up, whatever the reason is, American Express often gives higher credit limits. Now, when we're talking about American Express's direct competition with Chase is often a little bit more stingy with their credit limit increases, but once they do it once with you, I think it's something in their algorithm or their system. Once you guys get an initial credit limit increase with them, oftentimes you can find yourself getting a lot more lenient and higher credit limit increases with them as well too. Chase has always been the type of issuer that plays more on the safe side. I think they really don't want to risk the dice on consumers like American Express tends to do, and they really just want to be on the safe side with consumers. But if you can really get on the good side of the algorithm and show that you're a good green light customer, then oftentimes you won't find yourself getting in trouble trying to get a credit limit increase or getting denied for those. Now that really pretty much was it. You really just need to have healthy spending habits. You need to pay off your card in full, and you also need to request it manually, or they will do it automatically even if you don't force anything. But when we're talking about credit limit increases, you guys, I always recommend to my people, if you're not satisfied with the credit limit that you have at the moment, just wait, just wait. If you're not in a situation where you can wait, the next best thing you guys can do is actually apply for a new card, because when you apply for a new card, you get a whole new credit limit associated with that, and that starts stacking up. So I definitely wouldn't be a person that has over a $200,000 credit limit or whatever my potential credit limit could be if I didn't have more than 10 cards. A lot of my cards start adding up, and when those credit limits really start stacking up on all of your cards, that's really when you can look back and be like, dang, I actually have a pretty decent sized credit limit so far. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed my video on how to get a $100,000+ credit limit increase amongst your credit cards. Let me know what you guys think down below, and let me know also, what is your highest credit limit amongst your credit cards, and what credit card issuer tends to give you a higher credit limit. Don't forget to like this video if you guys have not yet already. If you guys are interested at all in applying for any new credit cards, I do have affiliate links down below that really do support the channel. In other words, I hope I see you guys in the next one. Peace. Boom.